everyone, it's Roshini and welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Right Response with Rosh, where we talk about how we can all do better with the way we respond to people. And sometimes it's events, and maybe sometimes it's questions or comments that are thrown at us. So here's my question for you. How do you respond to gifts? Chances are we all find gifts a lot of fun. We look forward to it. We love the fact that it's all nicely packaged up, and so we receive it with both hands very willingly and happily, right? So there is a saying that feedback is a gift. So do we look forward to it? Do we relish the packaging it comes in? Do we reach out with both hands and embrace that gift? Maybe not so much. And maybe part of the reason is because the packaging is not so great. So here's what we're going to do in this video. I'm going to share with you 3 things you need to consider when it comes to packaging the feedback so that it feels a little bit more like a gift. Let's get to it. So as I mentioned, we talk about how feedback is a gift. And I mean, really, for all of us who relish the idea of improving ourselves and becoming better versions of ourselves, we all appreciate that feedback is the breakfast of champions. Feedback is something that we need so that we know what to keep doing and what to stop doing so that we can get better results. And so, yes, it's a gift. We need it. We should be even seeking feedback whenever possible. The problem is that sometimes feedback could be packaged differently. So there are 2 parts to this. So there is the fact that, we could package it through, certain structures that we use, which I want to leave for a separate video after this. But there's also the environment, the conditions that you need to keep in mind when it comes to giving feedback. So there are 3 things that I think we need to consider. So let's start with the first one. The first one, I would say, has a lot to do with timing. When you give the feedback, how you give the feedback, all these are important things. And we often talk about how timing should be in the moment. Now, in an ideal situation, giving feedback in the moment is the best thing to do because you remember exactly what has happened, so you can share with the person exactly what behaviors you noticed so that they can, and we also have examples that we can give the person so they know very specifically, what is it that they need to write in order to, have a better relationship or have a better outcome, right? But when we are giving feedback in the moment, it really is contextual. There are times when giving in the moment is possible, and some of us have that skill, we have that confidence in being able to do so, but sometimes giving feedback in the moment can really backfire on us. So, for example, if we are in a situation where there is an argument, or maybe it's not even an argument, but it's a discussion, and maybe there are emotions involved and people's emotions are heightened, giving feedback in that moment may not be the best thing. So what we want to do is to wait for emotions to calm down, for intelligence to go back up, so that we are all a little bit more rational. And then when we are giving the feedback, we are creating a more conducive environment so people are ready to actually hear what we need to have to say. The other thing about timing is that we also don't want to leave it too late. So I have shared this anecdote of when a former boss of mine decided to give me feedback about how I had broken trust with my colleagues because I had not been timely enough in the email responses that I was sending out. And that feedback came to me at a performance review. Now, upping feedback about something that, I should have heard about earlier on so that I could do something about it, so that I could go and speak to the people that I needed to speak to maybe even apologize for my behaviors. Because sometimes when we do things that other people perceive as negative, we didn't mean to do that, or that was not our intention, or we do have very good reasons why things were happening the way they did. But of course, in the moment, if you start speaking about your reasons why things were the way they were, it may sound very defensive. It may sound like as if you're giving excuses. However valid they are, that's not really, again, the place to share that, counter feedback, right? So timing is really important. Sometimes in the moment is good, but sometimes we may want to wait just a little bit longer so that, the environment is just right in terms of people's emotions, so that the feedback will land where it needs to. Other times, we also need to consider the fact that we don't want to hold on to feedback for too long. And, we have to bite the bullet and share some of that feedback in a way that is packaged nicely, so that the person is ready to receive that package, so that it really feels like a gift that they are willing to open up and to look inside to see what there is. So what is that second condition that we need to consider? I would say it's the place. So what I mean is that very often when we give feedback, especially in a work context, we tend to do it in the office, and sometimes the tendency is to do it with a table across, one person. So if you're going to do it in the office, you might want to find a different way of having a seating arrangement so that it's not so confrontational. You may want to choose a different space in the office, maybe the cafeteria if you have one, or the pantry, or I know a lot of organizations now have lovely spaces and quiet spaces where you can have these private and confidential conversations. So choosing the right place is a good one. I also know of occasions where managers, team leaders, and colleagues have decided to, have a session where they're sharing feedback with another person, but in a cafe, and sometimes this can be a really good way of packaging and making sure that, people are ready to receive the feedback. Now, in a private and in personal relationships as well, again, sometimes maybe, giving feedback in the bedroom, or maybe giving feedback in the kitchen may not be the best places to give feedback. Maybe you want to have an opportunity to sit down somewhere where it feels safer, where it feels more comfortable, where you feel more relaxed, and you are able to share that feedback. Now, the third thing is the person itself. You know the person, or if you don't know the person, then find out about what works for the person. Now, what I mean by that is that some people are very okay with feedback anytime, anywhere. I mean, I really wish I could be someone like that, and I do know people who are like that, but I'm not like that. So giving me feedback, cold, might come across as a shock to me, and I may not know how to react, how to respond. So if you know that a person does better with a little bit of warning to say that, hey, there is something I want to share with you, I want to talk about it, are you okay for us to catch up an hour from now, or would you have any time in your schedule for us to catch up for 20 minutes? Perhaps maybe we can go for a coffee. I think giving someone time and space to kind of mentally and emotionally prepare themselves, can work. As I said, it is about really knowing the person that you're about to give this gift of feedback to, and whether they're the sort who would be ready for it, and what are some of the things you need to do to help that person prepare for it. Not everybody loves surprises. I hate surprise parties. Never ever throw me a surprise party, right? So there are those of us who love surprise parties, and there are those who don't. So knowing the person also really helps. So I hope that's really helpful as you consider giving feedback. The 3 conditions to keep in mind before you actually go out there and give feedback. If you want feedback to be a gift, you may also want to consider the 5 steps I have on what to think about. And I will also be doing another video. I'll see if I can do it all in one video, but I want to share with you some of the models that you can use. There's so many of them out there. There's the 3S model, there's the 4F model, there's the core, the delect, so many models out there in how to package your feedback. So I hope that you will like and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you will be alerted the next time I have some videos coming up on feedback. And do share with people that you think can really benefit from some of the tips I'm sharing with you. Till the next time, take care.